Hello and welcome to another tutorial. Today we are talking about Laravel, MySQL and Docker containers. Yeah, let's dive into it. I prepared a simple demo project on GitHub and I put you a description. I put you a link in the description below. I'm sorry. And yeah, you can check it out by Git and then you're good to go. Another thing which is required here is you have to have Docker and Docker Compose installed. If you don't have it, then follow the links in the README file. And yeah, okay, yeah, let's follow the steps here, and I try to explain something what's happened. Okay. First thing is clone this project. Okay, copy and edit the environment example. So it means you have to use this environment example file here, and you have to copy it inside the environment. If the environment file don't exist, simply create a new one. Okay. So there are some important environment variables here. The first, let's start on the top. The first is the application port that is used by Docker. And this application will run on port 10500. And the app URL is geniuscoding.local. Okay, fine. So another important variables are the database host. This is this here, the database port, and the database name and username and the password. You can change all this variable here. I don't suggest to change the database host because then you would have to change your Docker Compose file. So leave it as it is. Yeah. Okay, that's our variables. Okay, so what's the next step? If not, I don't know. Okay, open my command line. My command line is here below. You can use a terminal and CMD, but whatever you prefer, it doesn't matter. And next is Docker network create genius coding network. Okay, if we run this error response, okay, yeah, the network already exists on my machine, so you should get a response with an hash, and then you're fine. Okay, the next step is Docker Compose up D for given genius coding. Yeah, what's happening here? Docker Compose is looking for our Docker Compose file, and if you have a look into it, we'll see some services. Genius Coding is service. Another service is MySQL database service. Okay, and there are no other services defined. Okay, if we start Genius Coding, it depends on the MySQL database, so it will also start the MySQL database. And that's what we want, and that's what we need to run a Laravel application. We need this Genius Coding. This runs a Docker container with PHP and so on, and all the Laravel stuff. And we need another container to run MySQL database. Okay, let's do it. Let's run this here. So yeah, you will see some lines with they say it's something is pulling and extracting, and it may take a while. So simply wait for it. And at the end, you should see starting MySQL database done and starting my Genius Coding done. Okay, fine. Next is run Docker PS to verify that the containers are up and running. So here is a Genius Coding container. and it's up for 25 seconds. And here is the MySQL container, and it's up for 27 seconds, and it's healthy. So that's fine. We are done. That means our containers are up and running. So next is we need some permissions on the database for our user of our environment file, because this is the user which is used by the Laravel application. And yeah, we have to set some permissions. So run Docker compose execute MySQL database bash. Okay, let's run this. And now we are connected into the Docker container on the shell. So, and let's run MySQL as user root with a password. And the password is the password here, the database password. Copy and paste it, and you are connected on the MySQL shell. That's fine. So, okay, grant or privilege on change this with your username, if you change this with your database name, if you change the database name, and change this with your username if you change the database user. I didn't change it, so I can simply copy and paste it and run it. Okay, query okay, that's fine. Next, we have to flush the privilege. That's also fine. And next step is to exit from the database. So now we are back on the shell of our database container, and also there we write an exit command. Now we are back on the command line of our machine. Fine. The final step is to run migrations. That means we have to connect to our Genius coding bash, to our Genius coding container on the bash on the command line. Okay, fine. First thing, we have to run a composer update. Let's do this. Then, yeah, we have to wait for it. So composer updates our dependencies of our Laravel application. And while this is updating, there is one important thing you have to know. If you run your Laravel application inside of Docker containers, you always have to connect with this command to your container and run composer update after you require a new package, or if you like to debug your application and see in the logs and so on. I will show this in other tutorials, but this is one important thing. So why are we taking this step, or why are we doing it? Simply because this Docker Compose image is deployment ready, and this means you simply can check it in a Git repository or wherever you want, and check it out on your production server, and simply run a Docker Compose up command, and your application will be up and running. And there, yeah, you also need to connect on the container to do some changes. Okay, so composer update is done. Let's run PHP artisan migrate. Yeah, migrations are running. That's fine. And now we can exit here, and we're back. Open localhost 10.500. Okay, let's so make localhost 10.500. Oh, sorry. So here it should be. And now you see the Laravel application running here. Cool. That's it for this tutorial. If you have any questions or issues or something, simply write a comment and I will answer as soon as possible. And yeah, I hope you can use this for your projects. Have a nice day and see you next time. Bye.